No DQ Galaxy, what's going on? Welcome to the review number 328. I am your new moderator, the Cleaver, Colin Andrew, joined by this week's elite panel. Starting off with Big Papa Gino,
How's it
Jerry,
going, guys?
Jerry Slaughter, the returning Robbie Vice, and as always, Aaron Rift. Big G is here somewhere. Maybe if we'll say his name, he'll appear. Hey, nope, never mind, just a glitch. But yeah. Welcome, everybody. This is a new era here. You see the new graphic, the new colors, all that stuff. Again, I am your new moderator for the time being while Virtue is on hiatus. Again, shout out, buddy. Yeah, we got a couple new topics this week. And how's everybody doing? I'm going to start with Gina.
I'm doing well. Loving the new color scheme, loving the new graphics, loving the new music. It's a new day. Yes, it is. Honored to be here.
All right. Jerry, what's going on, my friend?
My, how far you've come, Colin. Started off on my show, now you're heading up this one. It's been great. It's been spending a lot of time with my daughter and working, and it's just been a great time. I'm ready to talk some wrestling.
Awesome, awesome. Mr. Vice, it has been a very long time. How are you, sir?
Yeah, so, when you invited me on here, I didn't know whether or not I was going to come do this, but I was permanently banned by a moderator that's not here tonight. And like a little part of me just felt, when someone tells me I'll never do something again and I have a chance to do it, I'm going to do it. So we're going to have a really fun conversation tonight. It's always good to be Robbie Vice, right? So everything's going pretty good with me, but we got some really cool topics. I am excited to be here. I think this whole panel is great. I'm looking forward to a great discussion. So I'm looking to jump right in.
Well, good to have you back, man. I know this might ruffle some feathers, but you know what? I ain't got no beef with it. So it's not my pig, not my farm. So Aaron Rift, what is happening, my man?
It's been a busy time in No DQ land, and shout out to good old JM Jeff Meacham, who is here tonight. Says it's the review and we are live with the Cleaver. Let's effing go, bro. Happy to have Jeff in the chat room, moderating the comments and making sure nobody gets out of line tonight. Should be a fun one. We're shaking things up tonight with the No DQ review. New logo. Robbie Vice is back. Great to have Robbie back on the panel. We always love hearing what Robbie has to say about wrestling. It's been way too long since we've had Robbie on. Jerry, great to have you back. It's been a while since you've been on. And of course, Gino is here as the co-moderator to help out the Cleaver. If he struggles a little bit, this is Cleaver's first time moderating a panel like this on the No DQ channel. Should be fun. Jeff says he's always watching. He's like Santa Claus. He knows when you've been naughty. He knows when you're awake, yada, yada, yada. Oh, I think we got Big G here too. Big G is, I think, happy to be here. There he is, Big G. Can you hear me?
Uh-oh.
Yes. Can you hear me? Is that better?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Welcome back, Big G. Cleaver, I'll throw it over to you now. Let's get it going.
All right. So, as we saw this past week on AEW Dynamite, Jon Moxley and Cody. We saw the ending, right? Everyone saw that with that nails in a 2x4 or whatever, a piece of wood stuck in the back of Jon Moxley on cable TV. So how far is AEW willing to go with their hardcore antics and their need to do all these ridiculous spots before like advertisements start pulling? Because I know personally, if my daughter was watching that and saw that hanging out of Jon Moxley's back, I would have been completely in a different other state. Besides, I'm turning this off because I can't. This is disgusting. I'm not going to watch this. This is pro wrestling. This is not pro wrestling you put on TV. This is not, your backyard indies and this, that, and the other. So I want to know how everyone else feels about this spot. I mean, this spot to me has been the worst one they've ever done. But I want to know what everyone else thinks about this, and then how far do you think they're going to go before they start seeing the repercussions of sponsorships or TV deals or this, that, and the other. So Hasn't been on in forever. So, Robbie, I'm going to start with you on this one.
Yeah, so typically I do not watch AEW. I don't keep up with it. I mean, I think it's well known the history that I feel that I just don't think it's worth my time to watch. But you sent me this. You sent this as a topic, and I said I'm gonna watch it. So I didn't just watch the segment; I watched that entire match. I think Edge looks really, really good. I think Moxley looks like solid, right? But if we're gonna talk about like what happened and the moment in question with the nails that were sticking into his back, and like when they pulled it back like that, the skin almost looked like a fresh grilled cheese sandwich, right? It was pretty gross. But my thing is like as I'm watching it, it's just that's true, Tito. It's just a lot. It's sad, right? I feel like John Moxley could have been something great, and it's really, like I said, since I don't follow it, it's really upsetting to see Edge doing this kind of garbage on TV. I don't think it really amounts to anything. And just to check back on something I said probably 2 years ago, the last time I was here, AEW doesn't grow their audience. I mean, their ratings are now like hitting like the 500s on the regular, right? This is not the way. This is, I think, as the kids would say, this is like negative aura. I just think it kind of reeks of desperation. And, I wish everyone the best. I hope no one gets seriously hurt. But 100%, like eventually this will start pulling sponsors. If the ratings aren't going to start pulling sponsors, crap like this will. They have so much talent on that roster. They have a lot of great minds that are doing things behind the scenes. I just don't know how they can stick to that. I don't like it.
Big G disappeared.
G's gone
Strong
again.
my opinions are, man. Knocks people away.
Well, Robbie, do you think some of the viewership has anything to do with their merge with Max? Because I know you can watch a lot of that stuff right there on Max. So do you think a lot of like some people are watching it on Max and that's affecting their ratings, or you think it's just a product in general?
I think what's affecting the ratings is that you have someone in charge who doesn't have a clear vision of what he wants to be. I think depending on who he speaks to on a day-to-day or week-to-week basis, whatever he may watch from back in the day is going to influence what he wants to do that week. So there's not a single coherent vision throughout the company. So we have these like fragmented and dropped storylines, at least when I was watching, which is why I don't watch anymore. It's just nothing really kept going. There was no like straight line of storyline. It felt really schizophrenic week to week. And I also find it pretty crazy that, we hear all this criticism of how WWE mistreated talent and misused people. And like, it's insane how large that roster is. When I looked at it, they have a lot of people who haven't seen TV in a long time.
Yes, Aaron.
Unfortunately, Big G messaged and said he will not be able to come back because he is having internet issues. We might have to put out a new T-shirt for Big G. Arrive, happy to be here, leave, like the Steve Austin T-shirt.
And the no internet logo.
Big buffering sign right in the middle of it.
Yeah.
There you go. We'll have to put out a new Big G T-shirt soon, but shout out to Big G. Thanks for at least appearing on this historic No DQ review. All right, back to you, Colin.
All right. No, Robbie, I definitely agree with you. There is so many people, especially between the two shows. I mean, you got, or actually 3 shows plus Ring of Honor that you just never see of. It's just, spending money and you're my new toy. And next thing you know, you got 1,000 in the corner. But no, valid points. I appreciate it. Jerry, I'm going to move on to you, sir.
All right. Well, first off, now I want a grilled cheese sandwich. Secondly, I think that spot was unnecessary, and I think it's weird that like Moxley keeps on getting these situations where like with the whole pizza cutter incident where like they had the split screen and Domino's showed up. So it's just weird that like they're still resorting to all this, especially like for like a place with such a stacked roster and high flyers and good technical wrestlers and everything. I understand that they want to cover all facets of wrestling, but when you're not really paying much attention to like the physics of things, like if you like suplex somebody onto like a spikes that are about like 2 inches 3 inches long, they're gonna get stuck in them, and it's not gonna be one of those like easy pullouts like barbed wire or anything like that, because it's just longer prongs. That's why I think that's why ECW in the long run I think didn't work out on television. Like they didn't have nearly as much crazy hardcore stuff like AEW's been doing, like with syringes in the mouth and cinder blocks and all this other crap. But I get like what Jeff Meacham said a little bit ago. Tony said he's like booking for the psychos, and I'm like, why do that? You have like you have a strong base of people that like Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, Chikara, all these places where these like wrestlers came up from, and they want to see the technical wrestling. They want to see plus they want good, storylines. That's the problem I think they have, is the fact that they really don't have any storylines, so they have to go for shock value at this point, and it's just not working out well for them at all. I don't see their audience isn't growing at all. If anything, it's shrinking because of stuff like this. So I don't know what their strategy is, but it's not a good one.
Yeah, I totally agree there. I mean, it's just, when this company was formed, I mean, I didn't have a whole lot of, like, go get him, Tiger. You know what I mean? Just because, I mean, I looked at Tony Khan and I'm like, what is this? What is this guy? And to be honest with you, too, this could have been just a really bad botch. Maybe Moxley was supposed to take it much farther down on the tailbone area to bridge more, and just stuff happens.
Yeah,
stars weren't aligned on that one, but again, it's just bringing that stuff in all the time.
I will give Mox props for the fact that he actually drove like 11 hours to that show after not being able to fly, and still agreed to do that crap. That's good on him. Like that's just a guy who's like willing to pretty much try anything to help his company or just make the match better. So good on him, but I wouldn't do it.
No, for sure. Let's see. I'm going to pass it over to Gino on this one. I feel he's got a lot to say, because he always does. He's a very intelligent man. So take it away there.
Thank you. I do hope I'm not known for dragging on, but I appreciate the kind words, absolutely, and I will do my best to be succinct. So I wanted to address the, you said reeks of desperation. It certainly didn't reek of awesomeness, as Cope, formerly known as Edge, would say. Somebody, and you guys mentioned the cheap pops and the notoriety, right? It used to be no press is bad press. Now we know that's not the case, right? And we talked about their base that probably isn't going anywhere, no matter how bad or good the product is, but they need to be able to draw in new fans. Now, I believe it was Jerry, you guys mentioned, or one of you gentlemen mentioned the talent and like kind of not being talent friendly, right? When AEW first started up, it was like a talent friendly company. Like you have creative control over the direction of your character and stuff. So, and we've talked about it a few on the rare occasions that we bring up AEW on the review, that wrestlers having high levels of influence in the organization is so clearly a problem for AEW. Now, as far as how far are they willing to go, bro, we're already 5 steps past where I thought they'd be willing to go. So I have no idea how far they'll be able to push the limits with this stuff while still maintaining, like, not being able to not having a blurred screen, right? It used to be about like 6 months ago, I kind of stopped watching the live shows, started watching the YouTube videos and stuff, just to kind of cherry pick like the good segments and what have you. Now at this point, like I'm basically just looking at the photos, and it's just not like that doesn't draw me in. Like you said on your Raw recap, like you're very sports entertained, Aaron. I am not sports entertained with these things that are very clearly not and have never been a part of sports entertainment, except for backyard wrestling and New Jack type of stuff. It's troublesome. Like you mentioned, ECW. They were using tables, chairs, ladders, the occasional thumbtacks, stuff like that. All of that to me falls in the realm of still being wrestling, right? If I could turn on an N64 WCW game and reach into the crowd and pull out that item, that counts as an item that qualifies as wrestling. I don't know if you can do that in the new WWE games, which be a problem. But anyway, as far as like how far they're willing to go with graphic content, I mean, as far as violent graphic content, I mean, you're at the top. You're at almost the pinnacle of what you could possibly do. Especially when you don't even get a lot of the Crimson Mask stuff, but actually does look good in pictures. So it's troubling. I'm honestly at this point, like I wouldn't be surprised if AEW starts hosting a bra and panties match or a mud wrestling match or something to air into the other side of graphic-ish content, right? I mean, that honestly, you could argue would be more watchable than watching guys syringe each other in the mouth and stuff like that. Like, it's just, like the staples to the chest and the bags over there. That's not wrestling, man. That's not even sports entertainment. It's not pro wrestling. That's just a bunch of guys trying to push the envelope in a non-clear, like it's not a way that the fans aren't asking for that. Like we're fine with 5-star banger matches, whatever. But like, who's asking for this? So I really feel like there's only really one way to go. It would be like a lateral pivot to something, you know, bra and panty-esque match type of things, which could air into the graphic content, if you will. But I just don't see how it's helping them or their talent. Like at this point, Mox already is known for doing this stupid stuff. I mean, it's just kind of stupid, right? Other than Darby Allin jumping off the, Mount Everest, right? Like what? Like it's just it's not really wrestling anymore. It's kind of just like some hodgepodge of backyard wrestling and stuff that we know isn't safe. Like all it takes is one of the nails to go in too deep and he's got a punctured lung and he dies on television. Did we not learn our lesson from Owen Hart? Did we not learn our lesson from Mick Foley's ear falling off and the headshots that he took in that I Quit match with The Rock? Like, have we not evolved at all as a human race in the last 30 years? Like, what is going on? Frustrating because I really want AEW to succeed. So that's what I have to say about that.
Well, I guess that's what happens when you work with children. You know what I mean? So,
dang, shots fired.
So, But no, great takes. Great takes. I agree with you a lot there. Nice bringing up Foley's ear. I haven't really thought about that in a while. But Aaron, I see some super chats have come in.
Yes, and also we have a substitute for Big G. Big G has graciously tagged in the one and only drum roll, just like Christmas Vacation. So he's got to make the sound. Here he is. Virtue. No, I'm kidding.
Oh my God, bro. That was
wow.
Oh my God.
That was a hell of a lead up for me. Jeez.
That would have been just like Jimmy Uso, just advertising.
I'm about to say that was very Jimmy Uso-esque.
That's it. There you go. Complete with red outfit for Jimmy. There you go, right?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Hot tag from Jeff.
That's it. Tagging one Jeff for another. What's up, everybody? Good to see everybody on a Tuesday. My goodness. and Colin, just for you, it is 4:20 when I tag in, brother. There you go. Good stuff.
Perfect.
Hey, I appreciate that.
There you go.
All right, now we got JEFF in the house, but first I'm going to let Mr. Riff rip off these super chats, and then we'll get right with you. Okay, Jeff?
Thank you for that.
Sir. Yes, sir. Please.
By the way, you guys pretty much said what I was going to mention.
Yeah.
You talked about the pizza cutter incident from a few years ago. What was his name?
Nick Gage.
Nick
Gage. Yeah.
Yep, Nick Gage.
Yeah, and then the syringe, which I still think is the most grotesque moment
That was
in
nasty.
the history of AEW. But I'll give my thoughts here in just a second. Shout out
That's
to
right. It's
Mr.
Nick Gage and Jericho. Shit.
Yeah. Mr. Sunset Rider sent in a $5 super chat. Thank you for that. Says, love the new intro. And does Jey Uso's recent botch being mentioned in storyline help add some much needed sympathy for his WrestleMania match? I think so, but I think there's a way to go with it. I think they got to have Gunther destroy Jimmy on next week's Monday Night Raw. I think you guys would agree with me on that, right?
Yep.
Yes, sir.
He needs to go out in an ambulance. Like, he needs to be taken out on a stretcher and
Local medical facility.
local medical facility.
No, there's no hospital now.
Mhm.
But thank you,
They're allowed to
Sunset
say-
Rider.
yeah.
Appreciate the super chat, and we'll see what happens with the Jay storyline. But I do think that was a step in the right direction. They might as well capitalize on all the heat that Jay's getting online with the botching and make it part of the storyline. So now you'll never know: is it a botch? Is it intentionally done? And you'll have to be trying to figure that out. All right, we got one here from Thai Arts. We got some different people in the chat room tonight. Very interesting. I'm seeing some new names in the chat room for what it's worth. And that looks like a Beatles avatar, which I appreciate. Thai Arts says, fan since 2014. Appreciate you all. Take it easy. Much love to you, Thai Arts. And also Thai Arts sent in another 5. Is that euro or?
That is a euro, I believe. Oh, no, it's a pound. Yeah, Jerry's right. It's a pound.
Okay. I
It's a
can never
bitch's pound, it is.
So Ty Art sent in another super chat. Thank you for that. Says Jay versus Gunther should be tribal combat, and CM Punk should be added to Cena versus Cody Rhodes. Thoughts? And who is the new WrestleMania?
Mr. WrestleMania.
The new Mr. WrestleMania? I would say Roman Reigns. Anybody disagree?
Nope.
It'd be stupid to disagree with that, honestly.
At this point, yeah.
Yeah. Look at his track record. Maybe CM Punk does get added if they make a stipulation for the 3-way. I'm not ruling anything out at this point, and I don't think tribal combat should include somebody who's not part of the Samoan family.
Exactly.
That's my take on it. If anybody else wants to add anything, go ahead. Jeff, I'm going to throw it over to you because I really don't have too much to add to the main topic here. I will just say this real quick before I throw it over to you. I have said this before about AEW. I think that they are like the Saw or Hostel of professional wrestling, and it's a very niche audience. If you like that excessive violence, and I like a good slasher movie, but sometimes it's a little too much. It's a little too overkill. It's like the Human Centipede. Like, how far do you want to push the violence and the gross content and all that stuff, the blood, the gore? How far do you want to go with that? My main thing is I just don't want to see people get hurt for real. And I've seen some out there make comments like, oh, you're a hypocrite if you liked Mick Foley and Terry Funk doing all their stuff. Keep in mind, these guys, they paid the price for all that stuff. And I think Mick Foley himself would tell you now that he shouldn't have done that stuff, and it was foolish of him. We didn't know the long-term effects that some of this stuff would have because guys like Terry Funk and Mick Foley were the first to do it. They were the first to really push the envelope with the physicality and doing all that crazy stuff in the ring. There's no need for it now, and if guys are getting really hurt, I don't want to see it. I don't care how brave they are to go out there and take the risks. I just don't want to see people really getting hurt. The illusion is to make it look real without guys getting hurt, but there's no way you can fake a guy having all that crap in the middle of his back and you see the skin pulling. You can't work that. Cleaver?
Yeah, so just to touch on what you said, like, you get, being called a hypocrite for, watching the stuff with Foley back in the day. But again, we were younger back then.
Wow.
We didn't care. And now, we're in our late 30s and early 40s, and now we see things differently. And we don't want to see that now. You know what I mean? There's enough crap on every other channel. We don't need to, we watch pro wrestling to have fun and, hang out. But if they want to be doing slasher stuff, then, go find Shudder on the
For real.
app or something.
For real.
You know what I mean? Like,
Their
Green
style's
box,
already
yeah.
dangerous. Their style is already like inducive to more injuries. So like, why add to that? It already has the crazy flips and the dives and all the really dangerous spots. I mean, they're exciting if you're into it, right? But like, why add all the weapons and the barbed wire? I didn't even see the syringe thing, and I'm not going to because it sounds awful. But like I'm hearing you guys say this stuff, and I'm just like, what the hell is going on? Like, who is in charge of this? Who is making this decision as an adult?
As an adult is the key phrase, Robbie.
Oh my gosh.
God. So, but before you throw the solo shot from me, Aaron, you were at the 1999 Royal Rumble pay-per-view with the Mick Foley and The Rock 11 chair shots incident. You're in the crowd and you're hearing these chair shots. You're not even watching it on pay-per-view. Is it not disturbing to hear that many thwacks upside a skull, even at whatever we were, 15, 16 years old at that point? It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't even want to go back and watch that match.
Yeah.
It's just uncomfortable. It's not really entertaining to see a guy be hit in the head like that with no protection.
Literally bludgeoned. He was busted open the hard way because of that many chair shots to the head. It's just disgusting. And the fact that Tony Khan can sit there and continue to justify it now, 26 years later. Oh, I'm just booking for the sickos like me. That's the problem. He refuses to allow himself to step back from being just another fan and be a responsible business owner and protect his employees or independent contractors, whatever the hell you want to call them. It's absurd to me that still be allowed to be a thing. I forever sit back and go, think about when the Shield debuted 13 years ago. Those three guys were just either come up from the indies in the case of Tyler Black and I forget what Mox's name was. I think it was still John Moxley at that point. And Roman Reigns, of
Dean
course, coming through
Ambrose.
this. Well, I know it was Dean Ambrose, WWE. I'm talking about before he joined WWE.
John Moxley.
John Moxley. And, Roman Reigns, of course, coming up through the system, the family, the whole thing. But, man, had they all stuck together and John not decided to want to do his own thing, yes, he probably would be in the background compared to Seth and Roman, like it was already starting to happen at that point and he left. But he'd be a lot healthier. He wouldn't be needing, to take time off to, recover from, what is essentially a completely just barbaric segment of television. And that's it. It's free television we're doing this on. We're not waiting for pay-per-view to, stab a guy how many times in the back. And, you guys brought it up. They're one shot too deep from puncturing the lung, from hitting the spinal cord, from something catastrophic happening over a free, quote unquote, fake wrestling match on television. There's just no need for that level of violence. I forget if I brought it up on the show a while back or somebody brought it up and I kind of piggybacked. We had ECW, which was violent. We had XPW, which was trying to outdo that. And now we have AEW, which is supposed to be the number 2 company in all the world, not XPW, a little niche product, not ECW, a little niche product with a wider audience because of tape trading. We have the number 2 wrestling company in the world, in theory, resorting to XPW level crap.
Jeff, who was that guy that fell off the scaffold and he was supposed to crash through like 10 tables, but he kind of missed?
I think that was Vic Grimes that he was fighting. That was fighting New Jack, and again XPW in the middle of one of the most historic venues in the world, the Grand Olympic Auditorium. It's not so nice now, but and just we're having that kind of and that was 20, 23, 25 years ago.
Yeah,
and I forget which one you said it, so I apologize. We've not evolved as human being wrestling fans in 30 years. Like, what are we doing, guys?
Yeah. Last thing I want to say before we move on, Dark Side of the Ring is back, and the first episode is, interestingly enough, about the Hell in a Cell match from 1998. And, as Cleaver mentioned, when we were kids, that was really cool to see that. But looking back, like, that was insane. He shouldn't have done that. There was no good reason for Mick Foley to take those bumps. They were trying to win a ratings war. But, I mean, yeah, to answer the question, like, what is AEW? How far are they going to go with this? I think they're going to keep going with it until somebody gets seriously hurt or killed. That will be what changes things. And hopefully that doesn't happen. But, you play with fire, eventually you get burned, right?
Yeah, it's proven time again, boss.
We got a super chat here. Robbie, I don't know if you remember Psycho Jet Black. It's been a few years.
Oh, God, here we go.
Psycho Jet Black is here. Says, Robbie, are you trying to be the next John Moxley?
Brother, I just turned 40. It's just happening to me naturally without any other assistance besides Mother Nature, man. It's just all natural, baby.
Yeah, we're all just trying to deal with the reality of the hair. But Jerry, you still got some hair going. You got some grays, but you got hair on top, so you're doing pretty well.
There's a reason Jeff still wears hats.
I get the peppered look, so I'm a happy camper.
There you go.
A little bit. There you go.
And Psycho Jet Black sent in another $5 super chat. Now, Robbie, it's been a while since you've been on. Darby Allin has a new nickname. It's called Scrubby Allin. That's what Psycho Jet Black likes to call him. He says, "I'm dreading the inevitable John Moxley versus Scrubby Allin at All In, where the potential for permanent injury to happen while dragging the Death Rider's story." Imagine that. Imagine Moxley versus Darby Allin as a pay-per-view main event, and we all know the risks that Darby Allin likes to take. He's going to be
He
climbing.
may try to trust fall or whatever the hell that finisher move is off the top of the building or something crazy.
Off top of a mountain.
You know,
he's got
there's
that
a
Mount Everest
lot of deep canyons in Arizona where Double or Nothing's
He
going
does
to
the
be.
trust
Just throwing
fall,
that
right?
out
So,
there.
like, that is his finisher, if I remember right. He does the
Top and
Yeah,
drop.
top
Yes,
and
sir.
drop.
Top and drop. Yep.
It's
You
a
got it.
trust fall. That's
It's a trust fall. Yeah. It's trust fall in the Grand Canyon match with John Moxley. There it is, Tony. Book it. You don't have to pay me for the booking. Just take it. Go for it. Here.
All right.
I'll buy it. I'll buy it.
All right,
Death
Cleaver,
Valley
you ready?
Deathmatch.
Gino had his hand up.
Okay.
Pass the puck real quick.
Yeah, real quick. I just wanted to mention the Hell in a Cell thing real quick. I haven't watched that episode. Really looking forward to it, by the way.
Yeah.
At least WWE benefited from that. I just don't see how AEW is going to benefit from that. We got the two,
Yes.
3 big spots that they replay all the time. Like Mick Foley became a star. Undertaker, it was already on his way up anyway. I just feel like that actually worked for WWE. It just doesn't make me want to watch AEW this next show. Like, it just doesn't. So
No.
All right.
Valid. All right. So moving on with WrestleMania season. We spent a half an hour on AEW. You're welcome, folks. So I don't want to hear I'm biased. I spent a half an hour on it. You're welcome.
Jeez. Tremendous.
So we got 3 of the biggest names in all of pro wrestling. We got Seth Rollins, we got Roman Reigns, and we got CM Punk. And they all got their beef with each other, but they got 2 out of 3 had one thing in common, which is Paul Heyman. What's going on with this triple threat? Where's this favor with Punk coming into play with Heyman? What's going to happen here? Are we going to see a new Paul Heyman guy at the end of WrestleMania with a complete swerve that some of us may see, some of us may disagree with, some fight on it, but there's got to be something here, because where's the story besides I'm mad at you, I'm mad at you, I'm mad at you, you're mad at me, you're mad at me, you're mad at me. You know what I'm saying? So I think something with Heyman has to be involved here for this triple threat. This is going to be a great match, and this is a way different. Shout out to Virtue. Have a cheers for me, my friend.
Special margarita. Oh, beautiful.
You got that salt around that rum tray, or no? But anyways, back to this. You got the 3 biggest guys. Last year at Mania, Seth was champion. Last year at Mania, Roman was champion. You had Punk on the sideline, but still made a hell of an impact. You got these 3 big guys, and what are you supposed to do? Because you have Jey Uso in the World Heavyweight Championship spot. Again, I love Jey, but this is weak. And then you have John Cena going after Cody. So what are these 3 to do? I like what I'm seeing. I loved Punk dropping the I work with children deal again. Talking about Grimace, I'm sure.
So good.
But no. So I want to hear everyone's thoughts on this. Like, are we going to see Paul Heyman line with Seth Rollins at the end of this match? And he's had his deal with Roman. He's had his deal with Punk. Are we going to see the return of a Brock Lesnar? The original Paul Heyman guy from WWE. What are we going to see here? Meacham, I'm starting with you, buddy.
Yeah, I was percolating on this, not knowing I was going to be on, so I'm glad I get to voice my thoughts. I really think the best option would be to put Paul with Seth Rollins at the end of this. And I only say that not because I dislike seeing Paul with Roman, because that relationship is just a thing of beauty, or seeing him back with Punk because that friendship is real, and using that in the stories is great to watch. But I think both Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman, from a character perspective, need something different. We have no reason to boo Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman could go out there and swing a stick of nails into somebody's back, and we'll still cheer him because he's Paul Heyman. But if he betrays both CM Punk, his friend, and Roman Reigns, his tribal chief, I'll boo him. I'll pay to boo him. It'll be fun. And Rollins has been treading water since WrestleMania last year. Yes, he had the great series with Punk, but that didn't really culminate until now. That whole last year, he had to take time off because of the injuries he'd accumulated. And when he came back, it felt like he was spinning his wheels other than when he was with Punk. If you give a freshly, newly minted heel Seth Rollins the return of the diabolical wise man, I'm here for that shit all day.
Muted.
I'm just so used to having people in the house. I hit mute when I'm not talking. So, you know.
Self-regulation is a beautiful tool when it works to your advantage.
Exactly. You know, sprinkle in a little ADHD in there, and sometimes you don't know what's going on. So, you know,
Oh my God.
by sprinkle, I mean like that big one that runs off the dude's arm.
Yes,
But
yes.
anyways,
Yeah, that's just freaking.
anyway, yeah. Again, out of all the WrestleMania matches, the only thing I really care about right now, and we're how many weeks away, is Cena and Cody and this triple threat, because nothing else really matters. It's kind of a remember when we used to get those pay-per-views, like you'd have a Raw pay-per-view, then 2 weeks later you'd have a SmackDown pay-per-view, then 2 weeks later was a Raw pay-per-view. This is what it feels like to me leading up to WrestleMania, and I'm pissed because WrestleMania is my Super Bowl. It's my World Series. It's, just like y'all's, and I want to be excited for it. I'm like, it's 2 nights and there's 2 matches I'm excited for, so something cool's got to come out of it. Papa Gino, let's rock with you on this one, bub.
Yeah, let's rock. So I hadn't even really thought about Paul Heyman even potentially siding with Seth Rollins. Now it's kind of all I'm thinking about. So, but is it in line with the story that they're telling, right? With Triple H, and he likes his swerves, he likes his destination, but wants to take the scenic route to get there, and however you want to put it, uphill instead of, making it go a little smoother than it needs to. Like, for example, these triple threats, right? It just feels like they're all kind of just thrown together. Even though we have an full extra night of the PLE, it still feels like they're struggling to get people on the show, and that should not be happening. Now, if it was always going to be Cena versus Cody, having somebody win the Royal Rumble to face Gunther, okay. Is it going to be Roman Reigns facing Gunther? Okay. Is that really, other than Roman Reigns being there, is that really a main event, a night closing match? I mean, I would watch the heck out of it, but I don't know if that's a WrestleMania match either. So the only thing I can really think of is that WWE really wants to make the fans think that CM Punk isn't getting a main event spot. And maybe even Roman Reigns is like, you know what? I'll take a back seat for my cousin. CM Punk's promo last night was like, or yesterday, as it were, for us in the States, was very eerie. Like, he still doesn't feel like he's getting a main event spot. Like, when we are all talking about, and everybody in the IWC and everybody who's a wrestling fan and maybe not contributing to the IWC, we know that the triple threat has to be the night closer of night one. If presumably Cena, Cody, which I don't know why it wouldn't, close night 2. The favor keeps coming up. It felt like they forgot about it, but we didn't forget about it. And then CM Punk mentioned it very recently. Now I'm wondering, if there's going to be some type of, hey, because he keeps making a point, you can't beat me without the other one's help. So maybe his favor to Paul Heyman is getting a low blow on Roman while he's waiting in the corner doing the ooh-ah, which is one of my favorite things. And I'm very sports entertained when he does that, and the whole crowd goes quiet until they all join in on him. So maybe he's doing that. They do the close-up of his, the bust, like this area of his body, and you can just have hand come up from the underneath, and then CM Punk smiles. Something happens with that. Do I want that to happen? Not necessarily. It would be great to watch these three absolute at their peak, like have a fantastic match with no shenanigans, but triple threats, no DQ automatically. We're a fan of no DQ here. Absolutely. So, there's definitely going to be some shenanigans there. Now it comes back to the question of like, who's the Paul Heyman guy, right? Like to me, it's CM Punk. He was out there consoling CM Punk kind of for no reason after the Hell in a Cell match. Like, it's not like he had been beaten. He had won the match, or no, Seth won the match because Roman pulled him out, gave him a beatdown, and like Paul Heyman's in there like crying over his carcass like he's just retired or something. And so it feels like, but then he comes out with Roman Reigns. I feel like neither one of them really needs Heyman to talk for them. Seth doesn't either. And I've always been a fan of Heyman when he's elevating somebody who isn't the best on the microphone right now. So maybe with the no DQ stipulation, we get a new Heyman guy who's not one of these three, or we get the return of Brock Lesnar, which would be fantastic. Whatever you want to say about him and what his involvement is with the lawsuit and whatever. We don't need to air all that dirty laundry right now. The crowd, if they hear Lesnar's music hit, they're going to pop out of the roof's going to blow off that place. I don't even know if there's a roof, but it's going to be gone regardless because nobody's going to be thinking, well, he's involved. No, they're going to be like, I get to see Brock Lesnar and I didn't expect to see Brock Lesnar. Let's go. Let's go. Let's let him wreck shop. Suplex City is back. And that's the thing with art and entertainment is you can separate sometimes what somebody has done in their personal life, if it's not too egregious, with the quality of their art and their work. And for me, I very much feel like Brock Lesnar is an artist when he paints the canvas with people in suplex. And so I'm really looking forward to it. Like you said, this is one of the selling points of WrestleMania for me. So we'll look forward to see what happens.
But is this match main event worthy? I mean, it is, but again, you have both women's championships that are going to be defended at WrestleMania on top of another world heavyweight championship. And we already know that Cody and John are going night 2 main event. We all know that. If you don't know that, well, guess what? Now you know. But so what do? Do you open with it? That's not a main event, but again, we've seen in the past. Remember a couple of years ago, we had Brock and Seth for the Universal Championship. That opened the match. That opened the night. I mean, to me, yes, it's main event worthy, but there's no title on the line, so it's not main event worthy. It's WrestleMania. Main events should be saved for championship matches. So with that being said, I'm going to pass it on to Aaron, who I see has some super chats, and then we'll get to Jerry and Rob.
All right. Yeah, we're changing it up a little bit. Usually I'm last every time, but
you know what?
We're shaking it up.
Mm-hmm.
New day.
All right. Psycho Jet Black sent in a $2 super chat. Says, would you rather meet Scrubby Allen or Tim Allen?
Having met both, I'll go with Tim Allen.
You met both?
Yes, sir.
Oh, was Darby nice?
Yeah. Nice enough guy. But Tim Allen's just nice, and he's funny.
Oh, so he's a comedian.
A little bit.
Literally. Yeah.
He could do stand-up? You think he could do stand-up well?
I know he can do stand-up well. That's where I met him.
Could he do it better than Tim Allen?
Oh no, I'm sorry. You cut out. I'm like, wait a minute. Okay, I answered the wrong question. I'd never seen Darby Allin do stand-up. I don't know if I want to. I can't imagine that'd be a popular night.
Okay, so Tim Allen would beat him in that.
Tim Allen would be my choice. Yes, I met both. There you go.
All right,
There you go. Cool man.
Yeah.
Shout out to Ty Arts, who sent in a $2 super chat. Thank you for that. Says CM Punk versus Edge/Cope. Who's better and why? That's a loaded question. Like that.
Yeah.
That would really interfere with. Let's get to that in just a minute here because I feel like that's a bit of a loaded question.
It's like a 45-minute discussion.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, Psycho Jet Black sent in
Jeff
a
is here. That's a
super
2-hour discussion.
Valid.
Yeah. Everybody think of their answer, and we'll get back to that in a few moments. Psycho Jet Black says the favor is replacing Jay in the Gunther match. I don't think Paul Heyman has that much strength.
No.
That's more of a favor to the fans.
Although to be fair, Jay is part of the family, so maybe.
Never say never, right?
Never say never. That's it.
Building Nexus sent in a $2 super chat. Thank you, Building Nexus. It says, could Paul Heyman ally with The Rock and John Cena? I don't think he will, but let's talk about Paul Heyman, because to me, he's one of the more interesting elements of this match. Now, we do have that favor from CM Punk. We'll have to see if he cashes in that favor for WrestleMania. Maybe Paul Heyman is able to secure a number one contendership out of that match, and the triple threat, the winner gets a guaranteed WWE title match. I made the argument that the winner of that should get a title match on the Raw after Mania to build up the Raw after Mania and make that something special again. I've brought that up before, but what about Paul Heyman? Who's he going to align with? Now, he definitely has his allegiance to Roman Reigns and also CM Punk, but I've seen comments on social media about Seth Rollins potentially going heel, and Paul Heyman betrays Roman Reigns and CM Punk and shocks everybody by teaming up with Seth Rollins. I would not rule anything out at this point. I don't think CM Punk's going heel, and Roman Reigns, let's be real, he's probably going to disappear after WrestleMania and take his vacation for 3, 4, 5 months, whatever it's going to be. So I wouldn't object to a double cross, and Paul Heyman goes with Seth Rollins, and maybe Paul Heyman aligns with like a Braun Breaker. It's definitely an interesting possibility. Could they make it logical and have it make sense? We'll have to wait and see on that one. I mean, we'll see what the rest of the panel thinks about that potential idea. Like, who will Paul Heyman leave with? Will it just be straight up, he doesn't pick a side, Roman Reigns wins? What do you guys think? I've pretty much said my piece on it, but let's get to this other super chat here from Psycho Jet Black. He says, the favor is Rusev or Aleister Black helping CM Punk win. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think they're getting involved. I think Aleister Black will just show up on SmackDown, and who knows if Rusev is even coming back to WWE. I don't even think that that's a guarantee at this point, but I think we will see him, just not at WrestleMania. And Psycho Jet Black sent in a $2 super chat, says, better movie, Jungle 2, Jungle, or Galaxy Quest? Jeff, I haven't seen any of these movies.
Galaxy Quest is one of the best movies ever.
Yeah,
of course, it's
Galaxy
Galaxy Quest.
Psycho Jet Black, that is not a legit question. I have known you for a number
Jungle
of years.
Jungle.
This is clearly Galaxy Quest.
Now, if you said Toy Story 3 or Galaxy Quest, then we've got a debate going.
Jungle had the unfortunate problem of coming out the same year as the start of the Santa Claus movie franchise, and Tim Allen's movie it didn't compare. It was a cute little movie, but it doesn't compare to the Santa Claus movies.
Was
Galaxy
Jonathan
Quest for
Taylor
me is
Thomas
better.
in that movie?
Yes, he was.
Yes,
He
he
was.
was.
That's
Oh no! I'm sorry. No. The son in that movie was not John Taylor Thomas. That was a
No.
different kid. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You're right.
He's
Did he
from
go
Orange is the New
Taylor
Black.
Thomas?
There was some other child actor. It didn't show up in anything else, I don't think.
Right? Yeah. I never saw that guy in anything else after he was Tim Allen's son in that movie. I don't know what happened there, but Galaxy Quest is a fun sci-fi spoof. Nowadays, it's more in the vein of the Orville with Seth MacFarlane's group. But yeah, the Galaxy Quest was a great little movie. I loved it.
All right, well, there you go. The insight from Jeff Meacham. And Psycho Jet Black sent in $2 more. Thank you, Psycho. Says, imagine Paul Heyman bringing back Ryback or Curtis Axel. If they want AEW to catch up, that would be a good start to bring back.
Psycho Jet Black, if you weren't doing any money, would have you banned next. Knock that off. Stop that. Not with you.
They'd have to
Not
bring
with
back
you.
Sunday Night Heat to have a show low enough to debut people like that.
Oh, and more like
Velocity, Robbie.
Ryback
Velocity,
on
I tell you.
Wow.
Yeah, that's right.
All
You
who
guys
has
missed
some
me.
who has
That's
some
Kurt Hennig's son.
That's right.
And
We got Jerry and Robbie.
It's only half perfect.
All right, Jerry, take it away, my man.
All right. Well, I've been thinking about this a lot, and there's two different ways it can really go, in my opinion, or at least my fantasy booking mind. First off, you could have Roman and Punk arguing over so much, like just completely forgetting that Seth's even in the match and him picking up the win that way. And then you just have them still feuding over who's the bigger Paul Heyman guy, and Seth just goes off and does his own thing after that. It doesn't really matter. But I think the more interesting thing would be for Brock Lesnar to interfere in the match and take out both Roman and Rollins, and Punk picks up the scraps. And also have the idea, like what Aaron said a little bit ago, have Punk have the addendum put in for the match that whoever wins gets the is number one contender to title afterwards. So that would set up Punk to go after either Cody or Cena, which either one I think would be an awesome match anyway. But that's the route I would hope they would take. But in the long run, I'm not really sure what Paul Heyman would do after that. Maybe he just splits away from both of them and goes with his new protege, Braun Breaker. That actually kind of works out in my opinion too. Just breaks away from Roman, breaks away from Punk, and just goes with Braun Breaker for a while and just builds him up. And then I'm not sure what they would do with Brock afterwards. See, it's really difficult to even think about, what could actually transpire, especially with Paul Heyman, because Paul Heyman's like one of the greatest wrestling minds ever. He's still like considered to be my hero next to Chris Jericho when it comes to pro wrestling. So whatever they end up doing with Paul is going to be brilliant. I just like the idea of him beating that entire match looking as worried as he did during when Solo was in charge of the Bloodline. And he had like pretty much like drenched in sweat and just panicked the entire time. And him saving Roman from like either submitting or getting pinned at one point and saving Punk from getting pinned at some point. Then all of a sudden Brock Lesnar just shows up, like wrecks the whole place, and then Punk slides in, gets the pin. And that way he actually theoretically wins a WrestleMania main event. But I'm with you on that, Colin. It's the fact that but Roman has always said he either will open a pay-per-view or close a pay-per-view. So I can actually see them actually putting that on, possibly like the first match on the second night, and then closing out with Cody versus Cena. Because then you'll have the number one contender standing at the end of the ramp afterwards, just watching on.
I actually really like that, Jerry. I forgot how that mind twists and turns sometimes. It's been a while since I've done this.
The whole thing about the whole Brock taking out Seth and Roman, that just harkens back to WrestleMania 31. Just him giving receipts for Seth Rollins running with the Ultimate Cash In.
Okay, yeah. Again, I like how that mind works, buddy. I like how that mind works. Good, valid points there. All right, Mr. Vice, you want to take us home on this topic?
I do. So considering I'll probably never be invited back to the panel, this is probably going to be the first and last time that my return happens, I'm guessing.
Swing for the fences.
Yeah, that's right. So this is what I'm going to say. I think all of you guys are insane because you're telling me you have a match with Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and CM Punk with intermingling histories with the idea of a Paul Heyman kind of alliance switch, which is not going to happen at WrestleMania. Okay, we're at the end. We're at the season finale of WrestleMania. That seed may be planted of a Heyman betrayal. I don't think it's going to happen at the show. I think we're going to have a classic, amazing triple threat match with three of the best to ever do it, with three of the best storytellers to ever do it, and with some guy who's been around the business so long that everything he touches turns to gold. So I think, respectfully, you guys are going a little far with the armchair booking because you have the perfect dish. Now, Colin, you are a chef. You know what I mean? I've worked that lifestyle before. When you keep tinkering and adding and adding and adding, what happens to a perfectly curated dish when you just don't stop messing with it? It turns to shit, right? It's just there's no vision anymore. So why don't we take these premium ingredients and just let them cook, and let's just have the feast that's going to be presented. This should close night one of WrestleMania. This should result in a CM Punk victory, and I think it will lead to a future title match. And I think we may see the hints and seeds of a Heyman betrayal that they can do down the road for the next season of wrestling. That's where I stand. And yes, Tito, my den is fun. It is full of arcade. That whole side of it is all arcade machines. So
what games do you have, if you don't mind me asking?
So I have Turtles in Time, I have Street Fighter 2, I have Mortal Kombat 3, I have Pac-Man, I have X-Men, I have Simpsons, and I have a pinball machine. I have a Star Wars pinball machine.
Nice.
And
Dude,
Marvel
Turtles
vs.
in Time's
Capcom.
a great, like, rare one out of all those classic ones. That's tremendous.
And you can see on top of it, I have my old, from 1989, I have my tall, big Ninja Turtles. I think they remade them, but those are the original ones. They're all beat up from
Oh, yeah.
Robbie Vice throwing them against rocks in the backyard.
Right. Damn, that's great.
I've got to say Genesis.
Fair.
That's true. I see it. But no, Robbie, great points there. I mean, I didn't really, think about it. It's just we're just always expecting something bigger and better as wrestling fans. The more we, go on in life and feel privileged that we've had all these things, and we're just, expecting the biggest night of the year to leave us with something even bigger than what we thought.
And I will say on top of that, Aaron, you'd probably know, or Jeff definitely probably knows way better than I would. A few years ago, probably within the last 5 to 7 years, there was a WrestleMania that everyone kind of felt dud about that turned out to be one of the best shows that we had seen in a really long time. I don't remember which one it was, but I just remember everyone was it was the same kind of atmosphere, right? It was like, this might be cool. This might be cool. And I just remember it turned out to be amazing, and it's still talked about. Not enough that I remember what it is because I'm not as plugged in as you guys anymore. But I do remember that being a thing because I believe I was on that panel.
38, that would have been Austin and Kevin Owens. That was
possibly.
At least night one was really good. Night two was not as good.
Right. I mean, I think so. But so I don't want to read too much into this because I think there is a lot of really key good players in a lot of these spots that are hungry. And I think there's going to be a good plan. Just don't expect these huge swerves in the match we're talking about now because, again, Triple H likes to book 75 years in the future. So I think this will be a major point of the next saga of whatever Paul Heyman is doing.
I have one more match I'm actually excited for in WrestleMania that they're still building towards, and that's Logan Paul versus AJ Styles. I think that's going to be a solid match.
Yeah, well,
he's been the best celebrity appearance by far. I mean, all of the stuff he does looks really good. Now, I didn't see it. I don't know if you guys enjoyed. What is his name? Travis Scott. Is that the guy that was had the blunt or the sage or whatever he was doing and dancing all around? A little bit better than that guy. Him and Bad Bunny I think were probably the two best celebrities in the past decade to wrestle.
Aaron, correct me if I'm wrong. The next major PLE for WWE after WrestleMania is going to be Money in the Bank, right? As far as like of the big ones for the year.
Backlash.
Well, okay, so but Backlash, as great as it has become, it's still a level down from Mania, Survivor Series, Money in the Bank.
I guess Money in the Bank.
So I asked that because if Punk does win this match and it is stipulated that he's the challenger, we get Punk and Cena at Money in the Bank again with the roles completely reversed. Holy crap.
That would be very interesting.
That would be fun.
Yeah, we do have a couple super chats related to what we were just talking about, so we can get to those real quick here. All right, so first of all, Walter sent in a $2 super chat, says, are we heading for a summer of Cena, much like CM Punk? We could be heading towards a summer of Cena versus Punk. I think we're going to get that match. It's just a matter of time on John Cena's retirement tour. Thank you for that, Walter. And okay, Psycho Jet Black has a couple funny ones here, but before we get to that, Daryl sent in a 35 ZAR super chat. Thank you, Daryl. Says, good to see Vice back. And Vice, we got another month of No Virtue, so maybe we can get you on for a few more of these. Says, what do you guys predict will be the best matches and the worst matches for night 1 and 2 of WrestleMania, and why? Well, we don't know the whole card, so it's hard to answer that. But right now, I think John Cena versus CM Punk will – not John Cena versus CM Punk, John Cena versus Cody Rhodes.
Foreshadowing.
Yeah, foreshadowing. I think Cody and Cena will have a great match with a ton of heat. I think that'll be an all-time classic WrestleMania match. Jeff, what do you think?
I think of the matches booked, the best match is going to be the triple threat. That one is just going to tear the place down. No doubt about it for me. And I went into my time with you, Aaron, as far as working the broadcast, not a triple threat fan. I have become a triple threat fan because of WWE's triple threat booking recently. So I am here for this main event level match. It's going to be the best match as far as the ones that are booked so far. Logan and AJ was mentioned. AJ always steps up against opponents that we never expected. Shane McMahon and him had an unbelievable match at WrestleMania a few years ago. Him and Logan Paul is going to be special.
Yeah, Gino.
Yeah, so I just wanted to mention some of the things I might think are going to be the worst matches. And sorry, ladies, I think it's going to be if it's Bailey versus Lyra for the IC title. I don't think that's going to be. I mean, they're great wrestlers, whatever. I just don't think the crowd's going to be alive for that. And then if we do get Jade versus Naomi, even though I don't understand why she's been putting her in the dirt every week, I don't think that's going to be the best of matches. Hopefully, Jade is improved in her time away, but it's jury's still out. She did well in the last match, but I mean.
They still do the Andre Battle Royal because if that's still on WrestleMania, that's the worst.
Don't they do that to SmackDown before Mania now?
Okay,
well,
that's good.
They did do it, but did they have it all last year?
Was it on SmackDown?
Yeah,
I remember it happened
on SmackDown last year. Or am I getting my years mixed up?
Maybe. God, I don't remember now. It's awful. But yeah, to Vice's point, if that's part of the card of the weekend at all, it's going to be the worst because those always suck.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I think, didn't Bronson re-win, or am I tripping?
That's what it was. It was Bronson.
It was Bronson or Jay.
Thank
so
you.
I'm just
Jay won one. I don't know.
Jay won the year that the Bloodline storyline was really kicking into the next year.
Yeah,
so
Bronson last
22. Year. Yeah, it was Bronson last year.
All right, thank you for that. And Ty Arts sent in a $2 super chat or a £2 super chat. Says The Rock as the next James Bond villain. Your thoughts?
Ooh,
no, not next James Bond, not James Bond villain, just James Bond.
Oh, if he's going to be Bond, I don't like it. If he's the next villain, I'm here for it.
The villain, yeah, definitely.
Amazon and Bezos just paid $1 billion to get the Broccoli family out of creative control of Bond. But there's zero chance that they cast a non-British actor to play the most famous British.
Yeah,
don't see it happen.
Did I say
a great
did
villain?
I
Like
say
Batista
villain?
was a villain.
You did say villain.
Okay, so I must have that on the brain. Like I just automatically think. I don't think of him as James Bond.
Yeah.
I think of him as a villain.
But that's my
Batista
point.
was a villain one year too, so maybe the Rock
Yeah.
could be a villain.
Yeah, you just made my point. He'd be a great casting for a Bond villain. Rock's got that charisma. He's got that appeal. He's got that look. He could be a dynamic, charismatic presentation for a battle with James Bond. I'm here for that. Absolutely.
And they should have cast Idris Elba as James Bond a few years ago when they had the chance.
Yeah. Hindsight's a mucker photo, Robbie.
All right, so here we go with the Psycho Jet Black comedy ones. He says, hard mode. Say something nice about Curtis Axel. His dad was perfect.
Yes.
He survived being called McGillicuddy.
Yeah, that he did.
He got paid.
He got paid for like 7 or 8 years after being Michael McGillicuddy.
And the B team was kind of awesome.
He still has not been eliminated from that Royal Rumble.
That's right.
Longest
the swerve of this
Rumble
WrestleMania is Curtis
ever.
Axel finally comes back and he beats John Cena and Cody Rhodes become the champion.
Using the
was a Paul
Axelmania
Heyman
music,
guy.
Hogan music,
Maybe
and
he comes
everything.
back during the triple threat.
And this will be the era of McGillicuddy or whatever the hell he said. In the
McGillicuddy.
Era
Aaron,
of
that's your NoDQ shirt right there. Aaron McGillicuddy. There it is.
All right, we got one here from Psycho Jet Black. Oh boy, I guess I have to answer this one. Hard mode. Say something nice about Star Wars.
Yeah.
Well, Star Wars Land was well done, Jeff.
Okay,
I'll give
good.
him that. It was well designed.
Yeah.
Yes.
Great music.
Shout out to my friend Catherine who put my name on my shirt in the Star Wars riding yesterday. Thank you, Catherine. Anyway,
And I'm sure Robbie has a nice Star Wars pinball machine.
I do.
I'm sure it's a fun pinball.
I think Star Wars is great. I think even some of the newer stuff, you know what? If you could just turn your brain off and enjoy it, it's fine. And I know that's crazy coming from me. I'm like the most critical and nitpicky person on the planet. But when it comes to my sci-fi, man, I can just turn my brain off. Also, if you watch sci-fi, I know this is off topic, watch The Expanse and watch Severance. They're phenomenal shows.
Yes.
Some people say the same thing about wrestling. Turn your brain off and just enjoy it.
I can't do it. It's hard to suspend my disbelief. When my first AEW match I was experienced with, they hit someone and screamed, "Oh my God, not the fluffy biscuits." And ever since then, I was just like, and I think that was the first show, the first pay-per-view. It was like one of the first matches.
Robbie, would you agree as far as Star Wars, the movie, the movies that Disney produced, not so much, but the TV series I think have been top notch?
You know, there has been stuff in the movies that I have appreciated. I like to see some of the lore stuff on the screen, but the shows have been infinitely better. Like the Obi-Wan, Darth Vader stuff. This has nothing to do with why you guys brought me on. But, I know. I really enjoyed
let's
Disney
take it
Plus.
back on task.
Brought to you by
Let's
Disney.
get it focused up.
which
That's
will likely
right.
own WWE at some point. So why not?
Brought to you by Disney. Hi. Yes. Anyway, literally.
All right.
The
Well,
accolade was awful.
before we get back to on topic here, well, this is kind of on topic. Building Nexus sent in a $2 super chat. Thank you for that. Says, feels like John Cena should turn face before he retires. I mean, we all think he will before he
It
retires.
does feel like
He will.
that.
At least for his last speech in the ring.
Yeah.
I found the error
lose.
in my ways.
He'll
I
be
couldn't do it without
humble.
the fans.
Yeah, exactly. He'll do the 180. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out. But yeah, he'll turn babyface.
Like, so that was fun.
Yeah.
Actually, if I were him, I would just double down so people would leave me alone when I retired.
That was true.
There you go.
Well, you know, he's going to want people, the wrestling fans and the wrestling community, to support his movie projects and TV project stuff. So he'll have to go out on his shield as the good guy at the end of it.
Yeah.
He has to. I just don't know how they're going to get him from here to there. That's why we want.
He'll make a choice. I guarantee you next WrestleMania will be his last match, and he'll have to make a decision if he's going to help The Rock or help Roman or something or Cody, and he'll make the right decision, and then he'll be sent off into the sunset.
There you go.
All right. Walter Cruz sent in a $2 super chat. Shout out to Walter. Says, if John Cena wins 17, should he bring back the spinner belt as he
Yes.
on Monday Night Raw?
Just for
busted
what?
mine
Yeah.
out tonight. I love that.
Just to piss people off, yes.
Yes. And not just the belt, the actual spinner part. Like, have it spin. Go for it. All in. Just
Modify the
be
big
that
gold
guy.
belt to have the spinner in it too.
Oh, sweet Jesus. That's next. There you go. There you
It's
go.
just a typical force. It just spins on its own the entire time he's talking.
Oh my God,
And
that's
then lights
fabulous.
up too. Why not? It's a toy, right?
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh, man,
I
so much
agree. He
heat.
should totally do it. Hey, they'll sell more of them. The
Yeah, they
people
will.
will buy them.
Oh yeah.
I'll tell you what, though, I am not buying a
Go
legal
buy
spinner.
it.
That's blasphemy.
Oh, I'm gonna get it, and if I'm ever invited back, you're gonna see it right between my Fight Club and World Map back there, right on the wall, spinning around.
For the whole hour, just all that. Yeah.
That's
Oh
right.
my
I'm
God.
surprised they haven't made some sort of clock like that for John Cena and just have it like just.
Oh, there was absolutely a spinner belt clock. There absolutely was.
Oh crap!
All right, we got some more here. Cleaver might have to make
All
an
right.
executive decision about that other topic. We do have some more here from Psycho Jet Black. He says, hard mode, say something nice about Robbie Vice. Was Arcade is awesome.
Yeah, right?
He's got good taste
Super
in video
impressive.
games, that's for sure.
He's got good taste in wrestlers, judging by his shirt.
I kept my hair until I was like 37, and it's
Yeah.
fine.
37.
Yep.
He got
Right.
Virtue mad enough that Virtue had to resort to name calling.
Bro, banned me. Permanently banned me. Yeah.
Oh boy.
Not permanently, here you are.
Well,
Right?
that's because he's not here right now. But I will
Never
say, if we do
never
want to bring up
in
the Virtue thing,
wrestling.
I am undefeated.
Well, no, Eric
in arguments
Bischoff,
with
he's back
Virtue,
and he's
since
better
not
than
here
ever.
to defend himself. Also, last thing, Aaron, you can probably back this up. Virtue also ducked that debate with me at WrestleMania time.
Oh,
Just throwing that out there
Fired.
too. Yeah.
oh, yeah. Now,
Virtue was
now
on a
we're-
30-minute
What was
delay.
that?
He was live chatting, but he was on a 30-minute delay on the video, so I don't even know if he's heard that yet. So we'll have to
Yeah.
see.
maybe that's a good thing. We'll finally be able to move forward.
He's probably a few too many margaritas deep to try to respond to that. I wouldn't.
There's
yeah.
no such thing as too many margaritas, but let's continue.
All right.
Valid.
Gino's doing his co-moderator duties, making sure we keep this moving along. All right. Walter sent in $5. Thank you, Walter. Walter says, bring the spinner back, and the middle is the number 17 that spins instead of the WWE logo. That would piss everyone off. And I
Oh
would be
my
here for it.
God.
Jeff, I got to run this by you. So somebody asked me on the other stream about the championships, because technically Cody has both titles, right? He has the WWE title and the Universal title. They're not officially one title. So if John Cena wins, doesn't that make him an 18-time world champion? That's what I'm confused about. What's your opinion as a title enthusiast? Like, what would you consider it to be, 18 or 17?
Let's just call it what it is. I'm a belt mark. I love the belts. I honestly don't know how to answer that, because they haven't officially done away with the lineage of either title, I don't think. So if they haven't done away and there's still separate titles technically, I would say he's an 18-time champion then. So he's already going to be breaking the record no matter what.
Yeah, but I like that idea Walter. That's definitely something they can consider. I hope they do something if Cena does win that title, but we'll talk about that when we do our predictions. Psycho Jet Black sent in a $2 super chat, says, easy mode, say something nice about Cleaver's beard.
Best beard in no DQ history. I'll die on that hill myself because I had a pretty epic one when the Kings were running the playoffs, but Cleaver's has always been that next level above the rest of us.
It houses a family of baby birds.
There you go. Keeps him warm in the winter.
He's contributing to
$1
nature, by
make a
God.
pillow out of
With
it.
that type of beard.
Damn.
He could easily pass for a Wyatt family member.
Hey,
Bray Wyatt would be proud of that beard.
I don't know right now. The Wyatt's sick and needs some help anyway, so why not?
Seriously.
Help. They
Uncle
need,
Cleaver
they
to
need,
the
they're,
rescue.
they're on life support right now.
Uncle Cleaver, he says.
All right, let's get back to wrestling before we get to the other super chats here. So I wanted to get back to this one. You guys had a few minutes to think about it. I'll go first. I think both are great. Just throwing it out there. I think CM Punk is a better promo than Edge, and because of that, I have to give it to CM Punk. He is more of a needle mover than Edge. Like CM Punk went to AEW and he sold out the what is it? Not the
Allstate Arena.
United Center. He sold
United
out
Center,
the
okay.
United Center without officially being confirmed. Copeland came in, didn't really move the needle much. CM Punk is a bona fide needle mover. So because of that, I have to give the slight edge, so to speak, to CM Punk. Now, anybody else want to chime in, Punk or Edge? Gino.
I'm just going to say Edge has consistently, decade after decade, without really leaving, consistently delivered moment after moment after moment. I'll always remember his cash-in, first ever Money in the Bank cash-in. I'll always remember the spear on Hardy, TLC, right? I'll always remember the live sex celebration, right? You know, CM Punk's got his things, but I don't know. I just think it's maybe a little bit closer than people think. And I think CM Punk taking a decade off really should work against him. It really should. But he's more of a needle mover, obviously.
I feel it does, but at the same time, it always comes back to me. Edge, for me, has the more personal moments as a fan, but twice in my time working with this man, CM Punk completely definitely shut us down one time, damn near shut us down the second time. I'm on my way to a WWE event in Vegas, and Punk still moves the needle. So it was just Punk has had a longer term impact as far as in the moment, but I think Edge's career speaks for itself.
And Edge did take time off, but he had to force retirement. So I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, Punk is clearly better. Why is Jeff Meacham sideways?
He likes the movie
Jeff is
sideways
about the topic.
Yeah, I know. That kind of threw me off. There we go.
All right.
Good old JM. Sideways. No, but like, I don't see how you could say that Edge is better than Punk, because I feel like Edge in the last year has just done a lot of damage to his legacy. I mean, the whole Cope thing is bad. It's bad. Yep. It's all bad. And like the biggest highlight I've seen of Edge in AEW is the Moxley thing, and then people in an arena singing his WWE song to him and almost moved him to tears. Other than that, like, what has he done?
Fair point.
I mean, he came out there and did the rah speech for AEW, stand up for AEW.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be nice
he
if he
jumped
left
off the
and
top
actually-
of a cage and hurt himself.
I still consider him Cena's biggest rival.
Yes.
So it would be nice for him to actually leave AEW or like somehow make some sort of deal where he actually come over and make an appearance to say something to John.
Oh, he'll end his career in WWE for sure.
For sure.
Yeah,
no doubt.
But right at this rate, he's about to end his career in AEW. It's just not
Not
the right
by
way.
choice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Last time I checked, he was away with a broken leg from jumping off the cage.
Well, no, that was before he came back and started the thing with Moxley now.
Yeah, but even then, like that almost killed him. Like, what's next?
Well, yeah, exactly.
All right, we got one here from Building Nexus. He sent in $5. He says, and thank you, Building Nexus. Also believe Cody Rhodes should get the win over John Cena at some point during the year. Well, it could be at WrestleMania, although maybe Cena wins the title, Cody wins it back at SummerSlam. I mean, there's a lot of possibilities. But again, I think we'll talk more about it when we get to the predictions. I'm still kind of torn. Anybody like feel confident one way or another at this time, or
No.
Gina?
I think
very confident.
I think Cody could still win the match, and then like Cena goes into Money in the Bank and wins the briefcase.
That's exactly what I think is going to happen.
Okay.
Cena becomes even more and more desperate, more and more heelish, has to win the Money in the Bank, and then does the heel cash in because you can't, your faces don't really cash in.
I don't see him as that chicken shit heel, though. I don't think Cena is going to go to that level. I think he'll be desperate and violent, but I don't see him as a Money in the Bank like that.
I think that's the reason why they'll do it, though.
Yes, exactly.
He got cashed in on first, so it could be like coming full circle.
Yeah, and I agree with Virtue that I'm leaning towards Cody winning with the stunner to The Rock to counteract The Rock's interference. That's my prediction right now. But of course, it can change. As we get closer to the show.
I watched a 30-minute video of Stone Cold just stunning The Rock the other day. I was still entertained.
Long-term storytelling. We had Stone Cold and Cena on that truck when The Rock was beating Cody down in the parking lot. And almost threw him over the edge. So.
Yeah. Jeff, I got your image for your plug, so we'll get to that here shortly. All right, so Psycho Jet Black, speaking of the NWA, because Jeff mentioned that in the private chat. Hard Mode, say something nice about the NWA. I mean, they had one of the most influential rap albums of all time. I mean, without
seriously, Straight Outta Compton was a good movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, since we're talking about the NWA rap, I'll talk about the NWA wrestling because the image I sent you, Aaron, is actually for that. On our Shenanigans, well, actually, it's not my show anymore, but on the Saturday Shenanigans show that the JJ and crew do every Saturday night, on April 4th, the show starts 11 Eastern, 8 Pacific. Tiffany Nieves of the NWA is actually going to be featured in an interview on that show. So I want to make sure I got that out there for the guys in case I don't know if I'm going to be there. I don't know if I'm working, but I did want to make sure I point that out. So if nothing else, the NWA is sending us a wonderful representative for an interview. Tiffany Nieves will be on that show. And again, that's April 4th, Dylan's birthday, at 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 Pacific.
All right. Thank you for that. There you go. There's the graphic for Saturday Shenanigans, courtesy of good old JM Jeff Meacham.
1 week from this Saturday. Yes, sir.
All right. So now
Friday.
All right. Psycho Jet Black sent it a $2 super chat. Says Hard Mode. Say something nice about the Young Bucks. Oh, Jeff, This is on you. Oh, come on. You have to.
No. Okay. All right.
It's mandatory.
Okay.
Mandatory fun.
Say something nice for the Young Bucks. It is so nice that the Young Bucks are not on TV right now.
Well done.
One of the best super kicks in the game. I don't like anything they do, but their super kick is clean.
There you go.
Yeah, I'd like their finisher more if they hadn't pussed out and so-called the Meltzer driver, but that's just me.
Anybody else want to see something nice? They help change the wrestling industry. I will give them credit.
I'm a fan of the Bucks, so I can't really say anything negative about them.
All right, well
they had Bullet Club merch going hard at back then. That's all I got.
All right, fair enough. All right, Psycho Jet Black sent in $2. Thank you, Psycho. Says Hard Mode, say something nice about the Dallas Cowboys. Jeff, they're your favorite team, right?
Right now, say something nice? Okay, they were great Super Bowl champions 30 years ago.
The cheerleaders are always going to be top notch for NFL, so the best thing we can say.
Their facilities at the stadium are next level. They're not going to be anything more than they are until there's a new general manager. That's just what's going to be.
I don't really follow the NFL. They have Emmitt Smith still. Is that still someone that plays?
30 years ago, but so he's not really associated with
Since then, he's not Dancing with the Stars, and that's been about it.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
All right. We got another one here from This Guy Experience. Greg Cherry as a No DQ review host. Well, Colin is the review moderator now, but if Colin wants to invite Greg, we'd love to have Greg on.
Greg's always welcome wherever I'm at, man. I love collaborating with Greg Cherry. I just wish I could do more. It's just I'm always seem to be doing something on Wednesdays where I can't be on his show at 7:00. I feel bad because I love working with him and Maddie, but it's just Wednesdays are a bitch.
Yeah, he's always welcome on. I mean, that's a Colin Andrew call. If he wants to try to get Greg on, I'm all for it. This is all about, we got Robbie on tonight. Who knows who's going to be on next week? We might have to bring back some more names from the past that Virtue had a falling out with. Although Virtue seems like he's cool with burying the hatchet with Robbie. I hope that's the case. Life's too short for grudges. Ty Arts sent in a €2 super chat, says Cody Rhodes or Drew McIntyre, who's better and why? Another loaded question here. Man, I would say Cody as far as just being the top guy, but Drew also, to his credit, held the fort down during the pandemic, and not a lot of people could live up to that level of expectation as Drew McIntyre did. Like he got the ball and he truly ran with it the best he could under some rough circumstances. But Cody, he's the man right now. So it's hard to say anybody is above Cody. I mean, anybody have a preference there between two of them?
Drew McIntyre looks like Arya Stark with a beard, and I just can't get past it.
That's awesome.
Except for the massive height difference and stuff. But yeah, I see what you're saying.
I had the distinct pleasure of like them both being in OVW back when I was going to house shows in Town. So like I got to meet Drew and I got to meet Cody. And Cody couldn't get over for crap in OVW when I was there, but Drew McIntyre was just a hit amongst everybody. So, and I got to talk to them both, and they're both like super humble, super happy, and super appreciative to anybody that actually came out to see them wrestle. But if I had to choose one or the other, I'm still going to go with Drew because of the fact that he's been doing such great work as a heel, and then like the stuff he's been doing on the social media sites, and then just his in-ring performing has gotten leagues and leagues better over the years. So the fact that he won the belt in front of like no crowd whatsoever, and didn't really get to recapture that moment. And when he did recapture it, he lost the belt 5 seconds later. Like that just shows how good of a sport he is and how he's always going to do what's best for business. So I'm Team Drew.
Yeah. Go ahead, Gino.
Okay. Well, sorry, Jeff had his hand up first. I'll pass it to him after. So right now they haven't allowed Cody and John Cena to kind of go back and forth on the mic right now. And I feel like that almost makes Cody look bad because we know Cena goes back and forth with the top guy on the mic and will shred you to pieces. And I feel like WWE is worried that he will bury, it's an overused term, but he will destroy Cody on the mic. Whereas if this was Drew in Cody's exact role, I feel like they would have let them spar back and forth already by now. So there's something to be said for that.
No, I agree. That's part of what I was going to say. I also say, I don't know if 2009 Drew McIntyre, before he got let go and had to mature and had to get his life together, would have been the pandemic MVP. So that speaks volumes for Drew McIntyre. He had to go away and rediscover himself before he came back to WWE. I think the Drew McIntyre that carried that brand through the pandemic was just the right guy. Whereas debut Drew McIntyre on main roster, not so much. So that speaks volumes for Drew for me.
And reinvent himself and come back too.
Exactly.
Similar
Both guys had to leave under very different circumstances and had to make the WWE audience want them back, and they did. Mm-hmm. Both
heel
guys
Drew
are
McIntyre
tremendous.
or face Drew McIntyre?
Oh, heel.
So that's what I'm saying. With the Cena thing, I don't think it would have worked because heel Cena, like face Drew McIntyre, would not have done well with heel Cena. I don't think. I just don't think that would.
Fair enough.
So yeah, right now, yeah. If you have those two characters, pairing them against current John Cena, then I think the way to go is Cody, because I face Drew McIntyre just had to overdo the
I love heel Drew, man. For sure.
Yes.
Love heel Drew.
Yes, but there was a comment before I started talking about. We need to see what heel Cody Rhodes does as this Cody Rhodes before that can be really determined, I think, for me.
Homelander Rhodes.
Yes, we have to have Homelander Rhodes, by God.
I mean, fair point there.
These super chats are coming in.
Yeah, we got more here. We're not done yet. Psycho Jet Black sent in a $2 super chat, says, hard mode, say something nice about Cincinnati.
My sister lives here.
Moxley.
I will say something nice about Cincinnati every year until about mid-May, early June when the Reds start to be the Reds again because they're so disappointing to my family. Oh, they break your heart. They break your heart.
Cincinnati chili only sometimes gives you diarrhea.
Hey,
It is
Only
No
sometimes.
comment.
I'll take your word for that.
It is the unclean bum of Ohio. I absolutely hate Cincinnati. Cincinnati is garbage. It is
Oh, shit,
terrible.
here we go.
It smells, and everyone tries to jack your shit. So no,
Cleveland and
Cincinnati,
Cleveland, Cincinnati forever. I'm staying out of that shit. He's the boss right now. I ain't messing with it.
they belong to
Hey,
Kentucky as far as
Colin.
I'm concerned.
Colin, would you rather eat a
Yes.
jar of pickles or go to Cincinnati?
Oh damn,
whoa!
that's
I'd probably
rough.
go to Cincinnati.
This dispensary
Not gonna lie to you.
What?
Yeah.
No. What he does?
What
he
I could
goes to
what I
Cincinnati.
could go to get. I can go to Skyline and get diarrhea.
Hate
instead of eating-
pickles
Yeah, I was
that
gonna
much.
All right, we got one more here from Mr. Tito, and then
Ooh.
Cleaver will make the executive decision on what's next. Mr. Tito sent it a $2 super chat. Says
Jesus
Robbie,
Oh shit!
thoughts on the recent Middle East
Yeah,
events?
yeah, let's tackle that. That's good. So my thoughts on the recent Middle East events are there is a lot of shitty people in the world, and people
Yes.
are hurting each other, and it's wrong, and people should stop hurting each other. And
Yes.
people should just exist.
Yep.
There you go.
Well
Straight
done,
hashtag.
Robbie.
Well said.
If I still existed on social media, you could hashtag me.
Yes.
All right, there you go. All we're saying is give peace a chance.
That's
Right.
right. By golly.
Oh,
What
Well,
was that?
are
All right.
the Oscars playing us off stage right now? Is that what's happening?
No.
being cut off. That's it.
All right,
We're
here we
done.
go. Easy mode. Say something nice about Papa Gino. Papa
Aw.
Gino has stepped up to the plate as the co-moderator and has made sure we got through this as efficiently as possible. So much love to Papa Gino for being on and being the backup to Colin. And thank you, Colin. Now, Colin, you're the moderator here. You had 3 topics for us.
I
Bruce
did.
Usually does 2. And if we go super long, he saves the 3rd one. But you're the moderator.
Yeah.
What's next? Your call.
So my third topic for the evening was the rise of the last real champion with John Cena. He's had a couple back-to-back fire promos on Raw, this, that, and the other. But it is 8:30. We've gone an hour and a half. So I think I want to see what happens next week with John. And then we'll circle back to this. Let this build
Like
a
a
little bit
spinner
more.
We'll circle
Maybe,
back.
yeah, it can just, keep on rolling, baby. You know what I mean? And
You know what time it is.
It would
see what
be his
time it
third
is.
promo, so third time's the charm.
You
That'd be
know,
perfect.
once, twice, 3 times the promos. And maybe we can get a little scrap this time instead of them just, yelling at each other and Cena talking about kids and, this, that, and the other. So we'll save that till next week. Excellent panel. I've had a great time. Paynesville is a pretty cool spot. They got Master Pizza. Master Pizza that's really good. It's delicious. Go get some, Virtue. But yeah, so we'll save that for next week. I think tonight's been great. Gino, thanks for having my back on the old co-pilot there. Robbie, Jeff, and Jerry, thanks for being on. And then Aaron, thanks for giving me also this opportunity to do this on your platform. So let's go around and we'll do our plugs. I'll start with Papa Gino.
Also, well done to yourself, Colin the Cleaver. We appreciate you. Great job. Guys, if you want to catch me playing some video games, talking movies and TV, wrestling talk, of course, I try to keep that here on NoDQ now. But you can go to my YouTube, Papagino 0017, but it's zeros, so I make a point to say 0017, just in case there's no confusion. This is always an honor to be on. It's always a pleasure. Aaron, thank you for having this. Guys, we're in the new era of the NoDQ review, and we've just got a lot of promising things to look forward to, even if the build to WrestleMania isn't good. We still have this community, and that's all that matters.
All right. Well, thanks for being here, bro. I appreciate it. We'll touch base about next week and figure out something between us and get some really killer topics. So thanks again, bro.
Let's get it.
All right, Mr. Meacham.
It is always great to be back here on the mothership, if you will, that the road you to say, baby. NoDQ.com. Always happy to be back where it all started for me. You can find me on the socials at Jeff Meacham on Facebook and Blue Sky if I ever post on there again, which is highly unlikely, as Aaron would say. And yes, next Saturday, April 4th. No, next Saturday is the 5th. So I don't know why I'm promoting the Saturday Shenanigans. JJ gave me the 4th. I apologize. I'm not sure on the date because I'm not confirmed for that show. But either way, Tiffany Nieves will be on the Saturday Shenanigans, whether it's on Friday or Saturday next week. That's part of our lead into the 12th, actually, is going to be WrestleMania karaoke. I don't have a graphic for that yet, but instead of the usual wrestling theme karaoke we do every year around WrestleMania, it's only songs or themes that were used / performed at WrestleMania. So that's going to be a big show for us.
Hell yeah, man. Sounds good. Sounds good. Mr. Slaughter, thanks again for being here. I always love working with you. My OG. I've worked with Jerry longer than anybody else on these things, so thanks again for being here, buddy.
I love you, Cleaver. You can find me on my Facebook group, Armbar, all capital ARMBAR exclamation point. I'm off of Twitter, I'm off of X, whatever, but come join us here. Lots of different wrestling discussions, memes, and just all around good wrestling community.
Well, again, thanks for being here, my man. Robbie Vice, I know you're not really social media-ish anymore,
Nope,
but
I do.
any final
Absolutely.
words?
Yeah. Well, I got a couple of things I can talk about. Always. You're giving me a live mic and you're just telling me to talk. I'm going to talk. So yeah, I don't do any social media. So if you want to talk to me, if you don't have my phone number, I guess talk to Colin or Aaron. Some of these guys got my number. I guess you could text me. But no, it was really awesome to be back. I haven't had a discussion like this in quite a while. I don't do anything like this at all anymore at all. So I do want to say that, and I do want to apologize. I think the last time I was on this show, I was kind of an unprofessional prick. I was super overly sensitive, and I was wrong. Everything I handled it was 100% wrong, and I owe Aaron, Dave, and I think your father-in-law or brother-in-law, someone was on there, but I know I made an ass of myself, and I just haven't a platform to do it, so I'll say sorry. Follow all of these guys. These guys are phenomenal. A lot of great content that's mostly free out there. If you guys aren't donating to NoDQ, you're doing it wrong. He's been doing this for 20 years. He's been giving you free entertainment for a long time. Like, throw this dude $10.
Seriously.
And, yeah, so hopefully I could ever come back if Virtue lifts my ban. But it was great to be back, guys. And we'll see you guys sometime soon.
Yeah, hopefully sooner than later. Much appreciated, Robbie. And I'm glad you and Virtue seem to be on good terms for now. We'll see how long that lasts. And Psycho Jet Black, in his case, like half his life savings is going into this. So I very much appreciate it, Psycho Jet Black.
And we love him for that, by the way.
Also, JJ Williams threw up this. So Friday Shenanigans. There you go.
Okay, there we go. Okay, yeah. Sorry, you remember I can't see the day part because we got that live banner in the live room, so I couldn't see what was what. So, but yes, Friday, April 4th, 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 Pacific. So I probably won't be on that show because it is my son's birthday. But go check out the interview with Tiffany Nieves by all means. And they've been trying to book an interview with her for a while, so it'll be a lot of fun to see her perspective on things in indie wrestling and the overall business right now.
All right, and thank you guys. Great show tonight. We did very well, and we appreciate Virtue participating in the chat room and giving his thoughts, and he was well behaved for the most part. So much appreciated, Virtue. And we'll see you guys next week. We're going to have another fun lineup. Who knows who might show up? Maybe my brother-in-law will come back. He got banned
there
too.
You go.
He
nice.
out. Actually, I think he just outright said, "I'm done." He left the group chat and never came on again.
Robbie Vice, baby. That's what we got.
Yeah,
here we are.
Yeah,
Robbie Vice, chasing family away since day one-ish.
Hey, I did it with my family. It's fine.
Spread the word. We're coming back next week with another great show. Cleaver, go ahead. You did a great job, Cleaver. Go ahead.
Yeah, Cleaver.
Thank you. All right. You can follow me on X at Cleaver NoDQ and YouTube. You can find me at the Cleaver NoDQ. I just put up a new video and I'm working on a new video for YouTube. Any Sleep Token fans out there doing some drum stuff. Also support the Big Vito brand. Big Vito good
Oh, I love
friends.
Vito. Tell him I
Been
said hi.
around on the panel before. Maybe I can try to make it work and get him back. NoDQ.com/merch. You can get that nice shirt, that new green logo popping.
Ooh, I like that.
You can get this shirt. You can get
Snazzy.
this hat. Yeah, so make sure to check that out. Again, thanks to Gino, to Robbie, to Jerry, to Jeff, to Big G. Can we get a Big G graphic up real quick for the man if you
Oh,
got
yeah.
that?
Yeah.
Big G was
Yeah.
Let's
happy
do it
to,
one time for the people.
and I think he will be back next week. Big G, you know, hopefully he has his internet figured out.
She
There we
was
go.
so pissed, Aaron. He streamed for hours with Walter earlier doing something else, and it failed him here again. He was so pissed.
Yeah, hopefully
But
everything.
there's
will be
Big
fine.
G. So give Big G a follow. Make sure to give Virtue a follow at NoDQ_Virtue on X. And shout out to Mr. Tito for picking me for this. So again, for Aaron, for Gino, for Robbie, for Jerry, for Jeff, and for G, I'm the Cleaver Colin Andrew, and we'll see you next week for number 329. Later, y'all.
Stupendous.